Welcome. Whether you're walking, working, or just taking a moment, thanks for tuning in. Today, we're looking at something pretty fundamental to learning English, something that, well, maybe often takes a back seat. The power of writing and how it really impacts your career and, your personal growth, too.
It's great to be back. And yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? The spotlight in language learning. It's so often on speaking and understanding what people say. But being able to write effectively in English, that's a distinct advantage, I think, a real key that can unlock opportunities.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember when I was tackling Spanish, speaking felt like the immediate hurdle, right? But actually, it was a consistent effort I put into writing, even just simple things that truly solidified my understanding. It really sharpened my thoughts, and kind of surprisingly, my grammar got way better just from doing that.
That's such a crucial point. Writing, it forces a different kind of engagement with the language, doesn't it? It allows for this more deliberate process, a chance to construct your thoughts carefully in English. And the great thing is, it doesn't demand immediate perfection. Not at all. Just starting with basic stuff like you said, jotting down your thoughts or maybe drafting a quick message, that can be incredibly effective.
Yeah, and let's be honest, in our daily lives now, how much of our communication is actually written?
Right.
Texts, emails, social media posts, the written word is just everywhere. So developing even a solid foundation in English writing isn't just some academic exercise. It's a vital skill for connection and for opening doors.
Precisely. So in our conversation today, we're going to focus on those tangible ways English writing can elevate your professional life, thinking about job prospects, workplace effectiveness, and also how it contributes to your personal development. Things like expressing yourself better, maybe journaling, setting meaningful goals.
Okay. And we'll keep this pretty straightforward, just like a relaxed conversation between us. If anything really clicks for you as you listen, feel free to make a note. Right, let's get into this often underestimated strength of English writing. So let's start with the professional side of things. It always strikes me that while we often focus so much on spoken English for work, the ability to write well is, it's quietly critical, isn't it?
I couldn't agree more. Yeah. The assumption can sometimes be, if you can speak the language, you're all set for the workplace. But just pause and think about the sheer volume of written communication in basically any professional setting. How many emails do you get and send every day? What about reports, proposals, even just those quick messages to colleagues on Slack or Teams?
Exactly. Emails are such a perfect example. Whether you're reaching out about a job or responding to a client, maybe updating your team, the clarity and honestly the politeness of your writing speak volumes.
Absolutely. Professionalism in emails is key. I remember when I was first navigating professional interactions with international teams, I really quickly learned the importance of well-crafted emails. It's not just about getting the information across. It's about establishing that positive and professional tone. Even simple phrases, things like, I hope this message finds you well, or maybe, please let me know if you have any questions. They can make a really big difference in how you're perceived.
That's a good point. And then there are resumes and CVs. I mean, you might have incredible skills and experience, right? But if your written presentation, if it's full of errors or just unclear phrasing, it can unfortunately overshadow your qualifications. People might just skip past it.
That's so right. And the cover letter. That's often your very first handshake in the job application process. A compellingly written cover letter in English. It doesn't just show your language skills. It shows your attention to detail, your ability to actually articulate your value, and ultimately how serious you are about the opportunity. It's kind of like professional storytelling in a way.
Yeah, it really is. I actually remember a student, Maria. She was from Brazil, and she had fantastic experience in her field, really good. But she was struggling to land interviews. So after we focused specifically on improving her English writing, refining her email tone, structuring her resume more effectively, she started getting calls. And eventually, she secured a great position at an international firm. It made such a difference.
See, that's such a powerful illustration of the impact writing can have. And it goes beyond just getting the job, right? Think about all the writing you do once you're actually in a role. Reports, performance reviews, even just keeping your LinkedIn profile updated. Clear and concise writing really enhances your professional image and, frankly, your influence too.
And especially now with so much remote work happening where maybe you don't have as much face-to-face communication, the clarity of your written English becomes even more crucial, just to prevent misunderstandings and keep collaboration effective.
Precisely. Well-articulated written communication. It really fosters trust and confidence, both with colleagues and clients. It just signals a level of professionalism and real care in your work, attention to detail.
Okay, so for those listening who might be feeling a bit maybe inadequate about their writing, thinking, oh, mine isn't good enough, it's really important to remember that progress, not perfection, is the goal here. Consistent practice, even if it's brief, it yields real results over time.
Absolutely. Good starting points could be, say, revisiting your resume with a really critical eye, or practicing drafting professional emails for different scenarios you might encounter, or even just outlining your answers to potential job interview questions in written form. These kinds of focused exercises can build a really strong foundation.
And definitely don't underestimate the value of tools. Things like Grammarly, or even just the built-in grammar and spell checkers in word processors like Google Docs. They can be really valuable aids in, identifying areas for improvement and helping you learn from your corrections.
Yeah, though a word of caution there, perhaps try not to become too reliant on them. It's good to use them as learning aids. Take the time to actually understand why it's suggesting a change, so you can learn from your mistakes and avoid them next time.
Good point. Use them to learn, not just to fix.
Exactly. So, to kind of wrap up this section on professional life, strong English writing skills aren't just, nice to have. They're often essential, both for getting a job and for really thriving in your career. They contribute directly to your professional growth and your reputation.
Okay, so moving on from the workplace, let's explore that often untapped potential of English writing for personal growth. This goes beyond just career advancement, doesn't it? It really delves into how writing can enrich your inner life and maybe even your relationships.
Yeah, this is an area that I think is frequently overlooked. People focus on the external benefits, but the personal advantages of writing, things like fostering self-awareness, strengthening connections with others, boosting your own self-assurance, they're incredibly significant.
Definitely. Journaling, for instance. Such a powerful tool for personal growth.
Yeah.
Just regularly writing about your thoughts, your feelings, experiences. Doing that in English can provide so much clarity. It can reduce stress, help you process emotions in a healthy way.
And from a language learning perspective, journaling is fantastic. It offers this great opportunity to practice English sentence structure, expand your vocabulary, refine your grammar, all in a really low-pressure personal context. No one else needs to see it.
Exactly. The beauty of journaling is that freedom. There are no set topics, no rules. You can write about your day, your dreams, maybe challenges you're facing, or even just simple observations. The focus is purely on expressing yourself authentically in English.
I remember another student, Hui from Vietnam. He started a really simple 5-minute English journal each day. That was his commitment. And he shared later that this consistent practice, it didn't just give him a sense of emotional release, but it also noticeably improved his overall English proficiency. It's just a great testament to the power of small, consistent efforts.
That's a fantastic story. Okay, another significant personal benefit is in goal setting. Actually articulating your goals in written English, writing them down, it can bring a greater sense of clarity and commitment. Makes you more likely to achieve them, I think.
Oh, definitely. Consider the difference between just thinking, I want to improve my English, and actually writing down something specific like, this week, I will dedicate 30 minutes each day to English study. Or maybe my aim is to speak more confidently in English during my next online meeting. The act of writing it down, it sort of transforms that vague aspiration into a tangible intention, makes it real.
Yeah, it makes it concrete. And on a relational level, what about writing messages to friends and family in English, even through quick messages, on WhatsApp or social media? It's a really practical way to practice your writing and connect with loved ones who might also speak English or be learning.
Yes. I remember feeling a bit, self-conscious initially when I started writing things like birthday wishes or thank you notes in English to international friends. But, over time, it just felt more natural. And the positive responses I got really highlighted the value of making that effort. It meant something to them.
And let's also touch on creative writing, maybe things like poems or short stories, or even just engaging social media posts. Expressing yourself creatively in English, it allows you to explore the nuances of the language, right? To experiment with vocabulary, tap into a different way of thinking.
Absolutely. Creative writing provides this outlet for expressiveness and even playfulness with English. And it can be a particularly empowering medium for individuals who might feel a bit hesitant or shy about expressing themselves verbally. Gives them a voice.
That's such a great point. Writing offers this private and safe space compared to speaking, doesn't it? You have time to consider your words, refine your phrasing, and gradually build confidence in your ability to express yourself in English without that immediate pressure.
So For anyone listening who finds speaking English a bit daunting, maybe beginning with writing could be a really gentle yet still effective way to develop your language skills and find your voice.
Ultimately, then, integrating English writing into your personal life, whether that's through journaling, connecting with others, pursuing goals, or expressing your creativity, it can have a really profound and lasting impact.
And like any skill, right? Consistent practice in personal writing leads to noticeable improvement. The key is just to start where you are and allow yourself that space to grow.
Okay, so that leads us perfectly into the practical side. How can you listening actually begin to improve your English writing skills? Let's get into some real practical strategies you can implement, maybe even starting today.
Yeah, that's the crucial next step, isn't it? Because many learners wonder, okay, how do I start if I don't feel very proficient yet? And I think the key takeaway here is really, you don't need to wait for perfection. Just start small, be consistent, and focus on the process itself.
Right. So our first practical tip is super simple. Make a habit of writing something in English every single day. It really doesn't have to be lengthy. Even just a few sentences about your day, maybe something you learned, what you ate, how you're feeling, anything can make a difference.
Exactly. And especially in those initial stages, please don't get bogged down by grammar rules. Just let it flow. The primary goal is simply to get your thoughts out in English. Like you mentioned before, simple sentences like, I took a walk in the park today, the weather was pleasant, I saw some dogs playing. That's a fantastic starting point.
And you might actually be surprised at how quickly you see progress with just that daily practice. It adds up fast. Okay, another helpful technique, using writing prompts. These can be questions or phrases that just spark an idea and give you a focus for your writing. Things like, what is your happiest memory? Or describe a place you love. Maybe, what are your goals for the next month?
Yeah, writing prompts are fantastic for overcoming that initial hurdle of, what do I write about? They provide a framework, and they can help you explore different vocabulary and sentence structures naturally. You can find tons of prompt lists online, or just create your own.
Okay, tip number 3. Reading more English is another vital step for improving your writing. It seems counterintuitive, maybe, but it's crucial. Expose yourself to short articles, blog posts, social media updates in English. Really pay attention to how sentences are constructed, how different vocabulary is used in context.
Reading is such a powerful way to internalize natural language patterns. You know, things like verb tenses, linking words, common expressions. You just absorb them. And if you come across a sentence structure or maybe a phrase that you particularly like, try imitating it in your own writing. That's great practice.
Okay, next up. Make effective use of those grammar and spell checking tools we talked about, like Grammarly or the features in Google Docs or Microsoft Word. They can definitely help you identify and correct errors. And often they provide explanations, which is the useful part, to help you understand why a correction was suggested.
Yeah, but again, just echoing what we said earlier, try not to become completely reliant on them. Use them as learning aids. Really take the time to understand your mistakes so you can learn from them and hopefully avoid them in the future. It's about learning, not just fixing.
Right. Okay, another idea. Consider sharing your writing with others. This might feel scary at first, but you could post short pieces on social media. Maybe join an online language learning community or connect with a language exchange partner. Some platforms even offer opportunities to get feedback from native English speakers.
That's a great way to build confidence and get really valuable insights. It pushes you a little. I've seen learners do things like create daily mini blogs on Instagram, sharing a short paragraph with a relevant photo. It's quite a public, yet often supportive way to practice.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. Okay, finally, and this is maybe the most important tip. Remember to be patient and kind to yourself throughout this whole process. Learning a language, and specifically improving your writing skills, it takes time and effort. You will make mistakes, and that's perfectly normal. It's part of learning. The key is just to be persistent and, if possible, find some enjoyment in the journey of improvement.
Exactly. The essence of improving your writing really boils down to consistent practice, coupled with patience and focusing on progress, not some idea of instant perfection. Don't wait until you feel ready, because you might never feel perfectly ready. Just start writing now.
Okay, so just to quickly recap those practical tips, try to write something daily, even small. Use writing prompts if you get stuck. Read English regularly. Use grammar tools, but use them to learn. Consider sharing your writing for feedback. And most importantly, be patient and consistent with your efforts.
Yeah. And remember, even dedicating just 5 minutes each day to writing in English will contribute to your overall progress. Every little bit really does count.
Okay, well, we've reached the final part of our chat today, and it's been really insightful, I think, exploring all these different facets, the benefits of English writing.
Indeed. We've touched upon how it can significantly boost your professional prospects, how it can really enrich your personal life, and ultimately how it builds your confidence as both an English speaker and a writer.
Yeah, if there's maybe one key message I really hope resonates with you listening today, it's that the courage just to begin writing in English, that's far more significant than striving for immediate perfection. Just start.
That's a really powerful thought. And remember, the ultimate goal is effective communication, right? Not necessarily flawless fluency from day one. Writing is such a powerful tool. It allows you to connect with the world and connect with your own thoughts. And with consistent practice, your writing will become clearer, stronger, and definitely more natural over time.
So, with that in mind, here's a small but hopefully impactful challenge for you. Tonight, maybe later today, whenever you have a moment, just take 5 minutes. That's it. 5 minutes to write a short paragraph in English. It could be about your day, maybe a goal you have, or just something positive you experienced. Don't overthink it. Don't spend ages editing. Just let your thoughts flow onto the page or screen.
Yeah, great challenge. And if you feel comfortable doing so, maybe consider sharing what you've written, perhaps with a language learning buddy or online somewhere, or even, hey, reach out to us. We'd genuinely be interested to see your progress.
Absolutely. We are really here to support you on your language learning journey. And please remember that every single sentence you write in English is a step forward. It's a real testament to your dedication and your courage. It takes guts.
Yeah. So no matter where you are in the world listening to this, remember that your words have value and your efforts are truly meaningful. Keep going.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. We sincerely hope you feel inspired now to incorporate writing more actively into your English learning routine.
And if you found this discussion helpful, please do consider following or rating us, and maybe share this with others who you think might benefit. Your support really helps us reach more learners like you.
Next time, we'll be exploring another really fascinating aspect of language acquisition: how to actually start thinking in English and move beyond constantly translating in your head. You won't want to miss that one.
Sounds great. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and remember that your journey with English is a unique story.
Yeah.
You're the author of that story. Write it well.
Well said. Until next time, take care, everyone.
Goodbye for now.